Bitcoin and crypto have seen a 50% surge in adoption in 2025, with all indications that that will increase going into 2026, including 61% of institutions planning to increase their crypto exposure in the coming months and years. Of course, all of this is happening as the government is likely reopening as soon as tomorrow. We're getting staking in ETFs, and seemingly the CFTC will be the key regulator for crypto. Nothing but tailwinds and bullish news to discuss with Andrew today. Let's go.
Let's go.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the show. I didn't know it was going to be just Andrew and I. Not that I'm not happy about that, but Tillman ghosted. He's on the flyer. Looks great. And, we could have booked a third guest, maybe, maybe a friend from Bitwise or something. But honestly, who needs
you
more?
And I, yeah, you and I talk enough to fill up 4 seats. So, I think we'll be just fine. To kind of kick it off, something that's interesting, the SoFi news this morning about them adding crypto trading to their platform, SoFi being a bank and probably being the biggest bank of note over the last decade that, quote unquote, became a bank and rose to some level of prominence. Adding, crypto.
I need to ask something. I'm pretty sure StreamYard just glitched again and we might not even be live.
Yep, you're right.
Do you guys see us? You don't see us live, do you? All right, let's start that again. Great, fucking great. I can't even see it. Is it on YouTube?
No, it's showing live right now on my feed.
It's live on YouTube. This is ridiculous.
Yeah,
I don't understand. So we are not showing us live, but apparently you guys are watching us. This is a fucking great show.
Well, here we are. So let's continue about SoFi. So
I hate everything today. Let's go. No,
let's go.
Hi guys. Hi. It's nice to see you all. Go ahead, SoFi.
So SoFi adding crypto trading, Bitcoin and others. Again, there's a functional reason to this. It's not just, hey, I want to be part of the cool kids. With interest rates moving down, right? So we've been in a period over the last 3 to 4 years where interest rates have consistently moved up. And so the ability for banking institutions to make more and more money associated with interest-bearing type of products, that's going to move in the opposite direction over the next couple of years. So they're looking for the next juice, right? And so it's not necessarily philosophical, that the philosophical idea of crypto and chains and all of this stuff have swept the banking industry. It's just another meaningful potential revenue source that they're going to add, that a subsection of their clients and customers want. SoFi, obviously, being the type of organization where their customer base skews younger. So not a surprise that they're kind of getting to this first, but it's another business opportunity for them, a revenue opportunity for them to fill the gap as, interest-bearing type of revenue is quote unquote goes away a little bit.
Yeah, here's that news. 36 billion SoFi just announced live on CNBC to launch Bitcoin trading to all customers today. I happen to have done some producer things. I got the video.
Good to see you as well.
Okay, so what's going on here? This is a big deal.
Yeah, this morning,
big deal for you.
It is a very big deal. It's a big day and a big milestone. Reverses the course of time.
It does.
We've wanted to be a one-stop shop for all your financial services needs, and one of the holes we've had for the last 2 years was in cryptocurrency, the ability to buy, sell, and hold crypto. We were not allowed to do that as a bank. It was not permissible. But in March of this year, the OCC came out with an interpretive letter that it's now permissible for banks like SoFi to offer cryptocurrencies. So this morning we're launching as the only national bank, the first and only national bank, the opportunity to buy, sell, and hold cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana.
So I was going to ask, are we just talking about 3 for now?
We'll expand well beyond 3. It'll be a pretty broad assortment. We try to differentiate on being fast, having broad selection, great prices, ease of use. So we'll try to give members, SoFi members, as much selection as they would like.
And
That
what's
is
the
interesting.
difference between going through you and going through Coinbase or going through Robinhood or somebody else?
Yeah, there's a couple of really big differences. First, we're a nationally chartered bank, which means we have the infrastructure, the processes, the financial conditions that provides the safeguards that a consumer would expect from a bank, which is going to allow us to scale responsibly. The second thing is because we are a one-stop shop, you can do all your banking, checking and savings at SoFi, your borrowing and your investing, and now crypto. And one of the unique things about that is when you come to SoFi and fund your crypto investments, you'll fund them in a SoFi checking and savings account. That checking and savings account's deposits earn interest.
Say that again. You're going to fund it with crypto?
You're going to fund
your checking account.
You're going to fund your checking account with cash.
Okay.
And then when you buy
Right.
Bitcoin or
So you get the idea. So yeah, I mean, just in case people had missed that news, it broke, less than an hour ago. That has to tell you exactly what's coming to every bank in America.
Yeah. So by the end of Q2 of next year, everybody, every bank in America, other than Bank of America, because they're the slowest and just worst bank ever, will have this. JP Morgan will have it. Every regional will have it. Every bank effectively that doesn't have a 79-year-old running the place that doesn't understand it will have this, because it's I've said this so many times on this show. Everything in traditional banking and financial services is completely commoditized. If one guy has it, then everybody has to have it, or else you're left out of the party and you're just missing out on revenue. So even if it's not as integrated as SoFi just described, every bank is going to have access to this stuff. They're going to have to offer it, or they're missing out on meaningful customers on a go-forward basis. They'll end up losing customers if they have them in a demographic that's under 50 years old. At Arch Public, we deal with tons of customers in your audience, Scott, on a weekly basis. We're not dealing with 25-year-olds, right? We're dealing with basically 40.
That's because they're poor and they live in their mom's basements and they can't get jobs.
Right.
And,
so all
and
the
they vote for Mom Donnie.
Yeah, all the reply guys fit into that bucket. But everybody else, 40 to 65-year-olds, those are the people that are making meaningful allocation to the asset class, and then are looking for these types of solutions. How am I going to be able to move on from some of the difficult ways you had to move crypto around before? Who makes it simple? And what SoFi just described is additional simplicity. So that's the race here, right? So if you're Coinbase, your ears just perked up. Now, to be fair, SoFi has 36 billion in quote unquote, assets under management or customer funds. That's tiny, right? That's not a huge number. But at the same time, they're continuing
Sponsor a stadium.
Yeah, we all sponsor.
That's a good thing, right?
Have not worked out well over time.
It's a good thing when crypto companies sponsor stadiums.
Yes.
They're not a crypto company.
Yeah, right. So it's just you put yourself in a situation where Coinbase will have to play a little bit of catch up here because they're not a bank, right?
They're trying to. You can see it's happening in two directions, right? The banks are adopting crypto, and crypto companies are trying to become banks.
Yeah, that's absolutely correct. And if I've heard it once, I've heard it 1,000 times from Caitlin Long. The line outside the be a bank door at the federal level with crypto exchanges is very, very, very long. And so they're pounding away at that door, see if they can get in and get their banking license. So it'll happen. It'll happen in time. I mean, frankly, the administration and the pathway that they've laid for crypto is you might as well be jumping into a turbocharged water slide with grease underneath the water. It's going as fast.
Fun.
Yeah, as fast as you possibly can. I mean, just absolutely as fast as you possibly can. So SoFi doesn't do this if they haven't had also back channel conversations about, well, the OCC put out a letter that says it's okay to do this stuff. Well, a letter isn't law, right? So you have to then go back to the OCC and say, hey, it's a cool letter, but if we pull this off, are you guys good with this? Are we good to go? And so, yeah, we're with this. And so they pulled the trigger. All right.
So from the title here, U.S. crypto adoption's on the rise. This is the company compiled a report on crypto and stablecoin adoption around the world, determining that the U.S. grew by 50% in the 2025 window. This is largely stablecoin adoption, of course, much bigger in countries like India. And this is just the beginning of all of this. So we have to obviously address the fact that our title says Bitcoin and crypto surge 50%. It's an adoption. I wanted you guys to click because you thought that prices were at 150,000 today. I'm admitting it. Okay.
So
But here we are. I mean, this is, we're actually seeing meaningful adoption of this asset class.
yeah, and it was something to listen to Kathy Wood last week adjust her Bitcoin price based on the fact that stable coins were taking a big bite out of that. And that doesn't mean, to me, I didn't see that as a negative. I mean, my goodness, her base case went from 1.5 million to 1.2 million. I think we'd all take that right about now. So, good for her. But again, it's thoughtful in that stable coins are going to, they're going to make a meaningful shift and dent in the world of finance, over the next 2 to 3 years, because the way that we move money, the way that banks will allow you to move money is going to shift in a meaningful way. If you're not a super preferred client at any bank, you got to walk into the bank. And if you want to send a wire, you got to fill out a bunch of papers. They got to have you sign some stuff. They may have a conversation with you about why you're sending this wire or who it's going to, and then they approve it, and then it gets sent. That's going, even if you're a super preferred client, you need to go online and kind of do the same thing. You don't have to go into the bank. You kind of go online and you can do the same thing and click, you send your wire. Still takes time. Whereas, quote unquote permissionless on the stablecoin rails, that's where we're headed.
Okay, people are mad about the title. It was a joke, guys. I didn't even know what the title was until I showed up with Andrew, and literally we were about to go live, and I was like, what is this referring to? And then I looked up the article. I didn't actually I don't do the titles. I don't do the thumbnails. I made a joke about clickbaiting you guys, and now you're mad.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I have a bit of a different online persona. I don't care if people are upset about the title. I'm disinterested in their outrage. So moving on to the next topic here on the podcast,
which is the most important topic. And honestly, we've been dancing around what's actually driving price. And I'm just going to throw it out there. The McRib is back. And historically, every McRib comeback since 2020 has marked a Bitcoin rally. I mean, it's literal science. The data is here. We have statistically proven. Oh, the title's not a joke, guys. I see it. Is it a joke? No, the title is not a joke. There is a 50% increase in adoption. I just showed you the article. It just in the title says Bitcoin crypto surge 50%.
Yeah.
In adoption. But yes, the McRib is back, baby. Wait till you see what pumpkin spice lattes do for the market. This is a real thing.
You know who's not eating McRibs? Tillman Holloway. Just a quick shout out to Tillman, who's in New Mexico with his oldest son for his 18th birthday. Tillman has been on the stankiest diet you could ever think of in the past month.
He looked skinnier last he was here.
Yeah,
like, how much weight did he lose? For real, I was going to say something, and then you don't want to say something like weird.
Yeah, he's lost like 25 pounds. But what he basically eats is like chicken and broccoli. And he's admitted it's painful. It's not fun, but he's committed, and I've seen him be committed. Like, so we had a Arch Public event in Aspen a couple weeks ago, and we had a meal at the place that we were staying, and all the people that were there for Arch Public enjoying the meal, and there he was in the corner with this little box. Of chicken and broccoli with a fork.
There's other foods that are healthy besides you can eat clean.
Well, let me tell you now, when Tillman commits to something, it's full go.
The same way.
Right?
I'm the same way. I haven't had a drink since July. One day I was like, I'm not gonna drink.
It's full go. But he's he's doing well. He's thinking of us.
So in the meantime, while he's eating chicken, The government is unshutting down. Some would say reopening, but I prefer the vernacular unshutting down. Looks like we got a bill through the Senate, which is the hard part, obviously. And now it's going to go to the Republicans. And in the House, you don't have to do stupid things like have a supermajority.
Yeah.
And they're going to vote this through. The government's going to reopen. What I find redonkulous about this is it's reopening for like a month and a half, 2 months, basically. Yeah. And then they're going to do this again at the end of January. Why?
January 30th. Like it's politics is dumb. That's the best way to say it. I don't know if you can find a meaningful politician that is, I don't know, that's not somehow been eaten by the machine. You know, maybe one guy I can think of is John Deaton, who just announced that he's going to run for a House seat in
Senate seat, I think.
Yeah.
Senate seat? Yeah.
Senate seat, Markey. Yeah. Okay. Senate seat. My bad. But other than that, I mean, you know, once you get into the belly of the beast in DC, it seems to just eat you alive. And you get these types of outcomes that are, again, purely political. The government shut down, at least for the first 30 days. Nobody cared other than the politicians just trying to win points against each other. Just ridiculous outcomes. And then, you know, the government shutdown ends, but we're effectively just going to go right back to the same argument after the holidays. So this is just a version of, I mean, we really don't want to argue about this. We want to go for Thanksgiving and Christmas. We're only really going to be in session for about 9 minutes between now and then anyways. So let's punt until after the first of the year when people are paying attention again. And then let's have another redux of this conversation. It's just foolishness. It's foolishness. And it's why for most, on the whole, you now have markets that just completely disregard this stuff. You know, you had a bump up yesterday. Okay, the government's going to open. You're going to get a bump down today. So kind of all evens out. We're a couple percentage points on the traditional market side from all-time highs. We've made like 35 new highs this year, no matter what the government's done.
Yeah, but none like this week. So
yeah, yeah. So if it hasn't happened this week, then it doesn't count, right? So who knows? It's Tuesday. We may get there. We may get there later this week. So it's again, it's interesting to talk about. It may, you know, move podcast numbers for a couple of weeks on one side of the aisle or another. It may raise the favorability of one party or another. It may raise the profile of one guy, obscure guy in Congress who talks about it more than somebody else for a few months or so. But it's all foolishness. Sad.
But the government reopening allows for some things to start happening again, though. You know, we had these incredible tailwinds for all this legislation and all the things the SEC was going to do, and we couldn't. Here we are. America's crypto ETFs get green light to share staking rewards to millions of investors. We already saw the Solana staking ETF launch, so I don't see how this is a big news item, but I think it's fair to say that we had seen all of the issuers of the Ethereum ETFs and such already, you know, changing their filings to try to get staking added. That is coming. So, I mean, listen, I think it's a pretty big deal to make these more attractive to add a yield, a safe yield from staking to these products.
Can you go back to that page real quick? I wanted to spend about 90 seconds on what I think is a real value add for the audience here. Go back to that page real quick.
Yeah, Scott, I've got it. I'm trying, but the problem is that I closed it.
Yeah. Well, there was an ad there for a Pepe node, and so yeah. I mean,
I'm not bringing that back up.
How can you go wrong?
And I'll get people being like, he talked about Pepe nodes as a shill. The on-chain analysts dug deeply into
the way that my mind thinks about the way that my mind thinks about certain things is, you know, who's behind the paying for that advertising for that to sit there in that article? Somebody somewhere, Pepe node guys, are paying for that ad to sit there. And so I don't know. It's crypto, right? There's never a dearth or a lack of weirdness that exists in this space, which again makes it interesting that the largest institutions on the planet from a banking standpoint are jumping in with both feet when Pepe Node still exists. Interesting. Just interesting observation.
PP Node is how I think it's actually pronounced in crypto vernacular. And meanwhile, as the government reopens, senators unveiled draft crypto bill giving CFTC oversight power. Listen, this would have been much more welcome in the Gary Gensler era when the industry was pushing away from Gary and towards the CFTC, because at least there were some rational thinking human beings there. But this is from Cory Booker and John Boozman, and that's good that it is bipartisan, but it looks very likely that this has support, that the CFTC will become the main regulator of the crypto industry, which, by the way, makes a lot of sense as we start to talk about leverage and perpetual swaps being added to exchanges and all these things that they generally regulate. But we have a pro crypto CFTC and SEC, and the power may be shifting to the one that has been the less contentious over time.
Well, my thoughts on this, I was thinking about it last night. No idea why I was thinking about it last night, but I'm starting to edge into the camp where it's inevitable, that not only does our government and other governments get heavily involved in crypto, huge institutions heavily involved in crypto. I don't know. It just, there's a little bit about it that just bothers me. It can't be stopped. We're not going to roll it back in any meaningful way, but there's not a whole lot that government touches that turns out better than when it started. And so that keeps happening in the back of my mind. Like, where does this go? The more government gets involved, the more institutions get involved. We want to think the best. We want, things like market structure bills to happen. But it's a law of unintended consequences, right? There's always something lurking that you didn't think about, you didn't see, and there are outcomes that wouldn't have happened if neither of those two parties had been involved. Again, not going to stop it, but at the same time, again, something that I've said a bunch, 2 to 3 years from now, the conversations we're going to be having about Bitcoin, about the space, are going to just be radically different than the conversations we're having now. We're hearing a lot about lending against crypto. That's starting to be a part of the conversation, that traditional institutions that are adding crypto to their product base, they're immediately talking about lending. Right, the SoFi guy that we just listened to earlier in this show, that was part of his pitch. The mortgages associated with Bitcoin, and on and on and on and on. Those things are going to happen. But what are some of the laws of unintended consequences? I don't know, but I do know that they exist. And
yeah, they're going to get it wrong.
Yeah, there's
government.
Yeah, there's going to be moments. There's going to be moments to the upside. There's going to be moments to the downside. Like I think there's a real chance in 2026 we get some sort of gamma squeeze, because you can't have this rush of billions upon billions upon billions, nearly trillions of dollars into the space when, we're just, Bitcoin's a $2 trillion asset still, right? It hasn't gone to 3, it hasn't gone to 4, it hasn't gone to 7, it hasn't gone to 10, right? So you've got this amount of capacity, and you've got nearly every meaningful banking institution and wannabe banking institution trying to jump into that $2 trillion bucket as quickly as possible. So what happens? I think the positive outcome happens first, and then we'll see what the fallout is. Jeff Park, 6-7 months ago, laid out the thesis for a gamma squeeze associated with options and now perpetuals that are everywhere. That's a real thing. So you and I talked off camera before that, this week, not a lot has happened. There can, malaise in the space, a little bit boring. That's the case, but don't ever get bored with Bitcoin because you never know what's around the corner in terms of price movement.
I'm bored. I'm selling it all.
Yeah, I
Done.
don't think you are. I think you're
No,
doing
I'm
something
trying.
else.
I'm trying to aggressively buy it using Archipelago. But before we get to that, big 61% of institutions plan to increase their crypto exposure despite October's crash. Was it even a crash? We're down like 3 or 4%.
No.
Like, how can you be crashed at 104,000? Anyways, there's a smart money buying the dip, but here you go. What are your future crypto allocation plans? 61% increase, only 4% decrease, 2% undecided, and the rest of them are maintained. 34%. I don't like. Who are those people? Why do you plan to increase or maintain your crypto asset allocation? Overwhelmingly, expectation of higher future returns.
Yeah, for
Good
sure.
to know. Good to know that institutions are just like us.
Yeah,
Because
right.
you can tell me that you're part of that NFT community you love because you are your lazy lion and your lazy lion is you. But you liked it because you thought the lazy lion was going to go up and that it
Gonna
didn't.
go up.
And now there's
Yeah.
no community there.
Yeah,
Right.
that's right.
But yeah, I mean, it's very clear that the biggest reason that the institutions want is because they think numbers going to go up. And welcome.
Well, I mean, people forget about it. People want to talk about 2025 performance of Bitcoin versus other assets, gold, like that. That's been all the rage, right? Everybody wants to talk about gold versus Bitcoin.
Yeah.
2025. Well, 2024 exists. Go and do that math. Gold versus Bitcoin, like it was absolute rout, right? So, financial advisors / financial institutions, they forever. For as long as you and I have existed, Scott, when they present something to a client, they present performance based on 3-year, 5-year, 10-year results, right? Because those are meaningful numbers that are going to stack up, and they're going to tell their clients 3 years is interesting. Okay, it's a huge outperformer. 5 years, that covers a bunch of different moments where Bitcoin was down for a year, it was up, and sideways. So this is probably what it really looks like. And over a 10-year period, we're now talking about an asset that meaningfully outperforms just about everything. So that's the reason why the numbers you just showed exists, because they can have those conversations. They feel really good about those conversations. Whereas with gold, you're going to have 1 year that outperforms, but I don't think anybody, there may be a small percentage of people that think that gold's going to do another 100% next year. Like that just doesn't happen. It's not
100,000. It's going to be like a $50 trillion market cap.
Yeah, well, it's going to go from 4,000 to 8,000, right? Or
what world do we live in with $8,000 gold? Full Mad Max.
An expensive world, a very expensive world. And which we may be headed there, associated with money printing and what are the fallouts associated with that? We're going to get lower rates, and based on political environments, we may find again with the new Fed chair and the like, there may be some meaningful adjustments to the flow of capital, and the the political party in charge wanting the flow of capital to be sped up.
Yeah.
So whether you like it or not, whether you agree with one administration or not, the idea as an investor is to make prudent decisions based on the reality on the ground.
It would require a meaningful reallocation of capital.
Yeah.
Tom Lee thinks we're going to $9,000 to $12,000 Ethereum by January.
Listen, I love Tom.
Which January?
Yeah, Tom.
Dude, I'm here for. I am so here for it. By the way,
Yeah.
like we need this.
Yeah.
This is the energy we need. This is the hair we need. We need.
I mean, Ethereum doubles between now and January. Everybody would love that, because that
Bitcoiners
means,
would find a way to be super angry about that. Let's not go to the
well.
everybody list.
So would other tokens that will not be named. So the show doesn't turn into a reply guy.
You're gonna say it.
No,
yeah, we did that already last week with Tell.
So again, that would be fantastic if it was the case, because that means Bitcoin's significantly higher and everything else is significantly higher too. Because until otherwise proven wrong, generally speaking, the markets move in lockstep in crypto. Now, I love Tom because he's often right. He's often right based on price alone versus timing. It's very, very difficult to make timing and price come together and be right on both. But from a pricing standpoint, he's usually been right. So don't disagree with Tom. Timing, that's a different conversation. Here's the reason it's mostly meaningfully different. Like, what did we just talk about, 20 minutes ago? The government just punted to January 30th. We're going to have this whole new government shutdown conversation again.
They're gonna just.
They'll fix it before then.
They'll fix it
before then. So that's not conducive to ripping asset prices at the time. I just that's tough for me to follow there.
Scott, you know what you were doing with this title. Sorry. They're so mad. They're so mad today. They say our volumes are not equal. Like, whoever showed up today, they're feeling the same angst that I'm feeling right now about the fact that I haven't gotten a big enough dip for large public to buy me any crypto in like 3 days. I mean, it's like, have you ever done heroin? I haven't, but I've heard about it. And then they take it away for 3 days.
I think it's a meaningful endorsement that you're now comparing our products to drugs. I'm going to take it as that a positive. I don't know if my co-founder, the CEO of Arch Republic, would agree, but he's not here.
No, it's not like that. But yeah, I mean, we've kind of been floating around just above 100,000. So obviously not much has happened, but I will tell you that we were able to buy all those lows.
Yeah.
For sweet execution.
Yeah. We're in a
Solana. We were just, this is the Solana 6 hour. We bought right down here, 153, currently at 162. Go to the daily there. I mean, it's just been buying. Hasn't been much selling opportunity. We haven't gotten big bounces, but look, bought the bottom twice on Solana there on the daily. But the last time it was like Thursday, man. That's like a whole other week.
Yeah, it is.
It's amazing, but I actually want dips. I don't want it to go up. I want lower, because I will buy and I think it will eventually go up. And I've added now to 250 grand in the account, by the way, from 100. If you want to know what level of excitement I've gotten about this, but I've got like 40 grand sitting in cash. What's going on?
Well, so again, remember, I think it was last week or the week before, you said you'd gotten down to 6K in cash, and now you've got 40 grand in cash. So again, the tools themselves, they reshape the way that you think about your positions. They completely reshape it. You're rooting for a little bit lower prices so you can grab a little bit more, reduce your cost basis, and know that on the way up, you're not going to be liquidating that position. You're going to be holding the lion's share of that position and benefiting from it. And so, again, whether you realize it or not, these tools turn you into a very, 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 very smart trader, because this is the way that hedge funds end up collecting positions. They don't go to an exchange and say, I want to buy 2.8 million shares of NVIDIA. Can you fill it right now? That's not the way that they do it. They slowly edge in over a quarter. And at the end of that quarter, when they file their 13F, there's now a new position or an increased position in NVIDIA on their books, and they show it off to the world. They don't show it off to the world while they're accumulating. And nobody had access to these tools, especially in crypto, until now. And so when we talk to clients, and Scott being one of them, it's amazing to see.
I'm like the hair club for man guy.
Yeah, the way that you go through things, where you're like, you started out and you're like, wait a minute, it's going up and I'm missing the up, but I wanted to do this and miss the up, to now you're talking about, I just want it to go down some more so I can get some more. That's what I want to happen. Like, you get thrilled about the arrows to the downside versus the arrows to the upside. That means your psychology as a trader has been completely turned upside down for the good. And so, and again, people can't emotionally handle buying dips the way that our products do manually, when all the noise around them says we're just going lower. Everything's going lower. Like everybody on crypto Twitter, everybody was convinced we were going below 100K and probably to 95 or 89 or 88.
Still could. Still could, but it didn't happen when they thought it was going
Did
to.
not close below 100K. Has not closed below 100K in like almost 190 days.
I now get emotional about when I miss the bottom of buying a dip. It's literally the opposite. I cheer for the dip, and then I'm like, close lower, don't bounce until the candle's over. Yeah, it's quite literally the opposite. Hey, you said you don't get triggered by people on the internet. I want to see your immediate reaction. This jerk off always selling his product.
Yeah, I know. I mean, it's crazy that the co-founder would think that way. I mean, I can't imagine.
I'm like the hair club for men. I'm not only equity holder. I can't say founder, but I'm also a customer.
Yeah, that's right. It is a I'll never stop shouting about this product. Never stop shouting about it because of the stories that I hear from people that say this has made a material shift in the way that I handle and manage. And by the way, next week we're going to have on Matt from Directed IRA again on the show. And you now have the ability to not just use this on a bunch of different exchanges. You can use it in qualified accounts, in tax sheltering type of accounts like IRAs. So not only do you get the benefit of using tools that turn you into somebody who has a plan,
tax-free.
Yeah, at the same time, you're doing it tax-free, which is extraordinary and unheard of. So we cover as many bases as we can possibly cover so that people have as much opportunity as they can possibly have. Gemini, Robinhood, Coinbase, and Kraken. So we've got it all covered there. Your funds are always liquid. You can have them whenever you want. We don't touch anybody's money. So it's very, very. Tillman and I have been through the wars, just like you have, Scott, with all things crypto for a decade, let's call it. So we know the minefield, the mines to step around in a minefield. And we've done that with our firm and with our products in a meaningful way. And oh, by the way, if you're the guy that said jerk off talking about his products, just go try them for free, man. I dare you. Go try them for free and then tell me what you think afterwards. Because
just leave it up here.
Leave it up here. We don't.
I think it was talking about me.
Yeah, probably. We don't hold back. We don't hold back like special stuff from our warehouse of tools for the highest level of our concierge program. They give incredible service, they get incredible communication, and they get access to new stuff for a couple weeks before everybody else does. But everything else is in the free version. You get access to everything. You can set up 12 different versions of our tools and algos on the free version and use it for 10 grand every year. You could just say, hey, I want to do what Melker's doing, but I want to do it on the free version. Our folks will set you up and make sure that's happening. So we nothing to hide, nothing to not discuss.
Stop selling your product and tell us where Solana is going up.
Yeah, that's there you go.
Up with time.
A year from now, it'll be higher than it is today. Check.
Didn't ask you, dickhead. Which one was the dickhead? I'm having a time today. I think I'm the dickhead.
We both answered. So
double dickheads.
One has to wonder the type of people that spend time at 9:44 in the morning on YouTube typing those types of responses.
Could be 6:45 if they're on the West Coast. Might be up early.
It could be.
You got to get up early if you're going to do this right.
Yeah. It could be tomorrow in the future if you're Australian. So that's also.
That's right. Yeah. They're all right. They're not quite in the future. They might. Yeah. Anyways, he's in Australia, so that's where he is. He's in Australia, mate.
Yeah.
That checks out. Checks out with your great attitude.
How about you tell us where Solana is going to go since you're in the future.
You're literally in the future. Where is Solana, dumbass?
Where Solana is going to be, my man. I'd love to hear it.
God, I don't even know. How can you not make money in markets if you live in Australia?
That's so true. So true.
It's like
the
being
government's fault
Biff
there.
and going into the future with the little sports book.
That's right. That's right.
Back to the Future reference.
There's been a
Back to
couple
the
of new
Future 2.
memes going around with Biff, young Biff and old Biff. Seen him on Instagram, or I don't know where.
And they
it's
play like
from.
Two Live Crew or something.
Yeah,
Yeah. Here's the music we used to listen
Like,
to.
this is the music we used to listen to, and Biff's like, "What the?"
Man,
I'm glad.
the comments have been fun. You guys have been great in the comments. Forgive me for attempting to get more people to watch the show with a clickbait title that I didn't even read until it was 9:03. Andrew was witness to it. I literally, like, right before the show, I was like, Bitcoin and crypto surged 50%. I was like,
Wait a minute.
price is up 50%? What the hell? Then I had to look into the articles, which I was still opening to read, because I prepped so heavily for the show today, as you can tell. And it was about adoption.
Something that
adoption's more important, actually, because adoption will lead price. So shut up.
Something
that is a prediction on the future, 50%.
Something that needs to be mentioned before we go. We are having a pretty significant pricing opportunity with our concierge program right now. It's a run of the mill sort of Black Friday promotion, but it's a 40% number. So if you've ever wanted to be in the concierge program, or you're at a certain tier, you want to get to a bigger tier, unique pricing right now for us, and people should take advantage of it.
What he said. And you can do all of that here. The baby's crying, but at least it's not someone banging in the basement.
Yeah, they're not here this morning, so
I'm glad. See, the guy who's calling us dickhead says thanks for the show. He was just kidding, and we're kidding. See, this is it's just worth noting, like, this is, guy said, calling us jerk offs and dickheads. That's how I communicate with my actual friends.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys know this. Like, now you can't say things, but like, I was with two of my friends at a 50th birthday party in New York City this weekend. I didn't say a nice thing to any of them. They're my best friends. We all traveled from around the country to go, and we just relentlessly made fun of each other, because that's how people from the 80s show love.
Yeah, welcome to Gen X, my friend. That's just how we talk to each other. It's how we grew up, right?
Yeah. I mock them. You're old, you're fat, you're bald,
yeah,
poor. It's fucking awesome.
I mean, listen, we're the generation of wedgies and like a bat to the back of your leg when it's baseball practice. Like that's how we live.
Oh, rat tails. Wow.
Yeah, rat tails and cup checks. I mean, that's the world that we come from. Like
that was my friend's, my best college friend. His favorite joke, if we're talking about cup checks, for those who don't know, he would just walk up to random people and say, "Hey, what's the capital of Thailand?"
Of course,
and they would say Bangkok and slap them in the nuts.
So that's
do that. Yeah. You literally go to jail for that.
Yeah,
and then they'll elect Mom Donnie.
Yeah, if point being is a reply here or there that doesn't holistically agree with us, probably not going to make much of a dent. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, that's how real friends communicate. Bring it back. Anyways, guys, you should go check out the discount. And if you don't want to, like, honestly, we don't like you or care. See what I just did there? It was funny. I actually like you guys. It's the opposite. I think you guys are wonderful. I'm going to let Andrew go hang out with Sloth in his basement. Get ready for Crypto Town Hall. I realize we have a problem, though. I literally cannot end the stream.
You can't end it
because we never went live.
Yeah,
and therefore there is no button. Therefore, there is no button to end. I can go live.
Yeah, but you can't end. Right.
Let's see what happens if I go live. But Andrew, we're gonna sign off. I'm gonna bring you off camera so it's not super weird, and then I'm gonna bring myself off camera. I'm going to play the little music, and then we might just awkwardly be here. Just so you guys know. Thank you, Andrew. It's been a
Everybody
pleasure.
have a good week.
Later, guys. See, it's not even going to do it. I'm trying to hit it.
Let's go.